Okay, we're ready.
All right, welcome to tonight's Namigo Mashiach share, and we're holding Parshas Lecha, Tafshinun Beis. Parshas Lecha is a parsha called Tzvikus mit der Parsha Hauptsächlich der Kuf von Abraham Avinu der erste Yid. On Heibendik von dem ersten Zivischen Gott Baruch Hu zu Avraham. Lecha is a very it's a holistic parsha, and it's a very it's an important parsha. It's like a main parsha of the entire Yiddishkeit. And the parsha starts off with the era of Avram Avinu, the first Yid, getting his first command from the Eibishter. And it says, "Vayemer Avaya el Avram lechacha me'artzecha u'mimelattecha u'mibeitzavicha el haaretz asher areka." Havaya said to Avram, "Go for yourself from your land, from your birthplace, and from the house of your father to the land which I will show you." And then the parsha continues to go on talking about the journeying of Avram into Eretz Yisrael, und die Avtache von Eibishter, as und seine Kinder geben Eretz Yisrael, and then the promise of the Eibishter telling Avram that he's going to give him and his children the land of Yisrael. Now we know that the Rebbe is very into the idea of Machda Eretz Yisrael, so we see that this is a very important parsha.
Beautiful, Levi. Thank you for starting us off. Menachem, you'd be up next. You have a minute and a half if you want to share some thoughts, or if you want to read further, you could read further. But maximum of one paragraph at a time. But you have to take yourself off mute. Oh, yeah,
I just did, yeah.
we can hear you. Go.
Sorry, the camera. I'm just looking at the safer now. By the way, I do want to mention what was just mentioned here. That's the whole Sikha of Pinchas Ben Aleph, Machda Eretz Yisrael. But somebody who wants to look up that Indian, as it was just mentioned, could look up Pinchas Ben Aleph. That's mainly about Machda Eretz Yisrael. That's Sikha. Biz Vasim Parsha, wo es wird sich wegen der Zivui auf Mitzvahs Mila und Kio Mitzvah Zu, die Abraham Avinu, durch welcher es wird ein Bris zwischen Jeden mit dem Ebersten, wer es Brisi begeben mit ihr, mit Lecha, mit Zaracha, Acharecha, Brisi, mit Psachim, und Brisela. Till the end of the Parsha, in other words, the beginning of the Parsha is about getting out Yisrael. The end of the Parsha is the Bris of the Ebersten with the Yidden. And the Rebbe is going to go on to connect the two. So how does this work? Paragraph by paragraph?
So you would have another 30 seconds if you want to say something, share something.
No, I just said what the Rebbe is trying to connect. The Rebbe's kav b'chwal is to connect the beginning and the end. Torah achas. So the Rebbe is connecting the beginning of the parsha with the end of the parsha. The Rebbe is asking what's the connection. That's what the flow is going to be. Next.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. Just the first thought that popped into my mind. I know how the Rebbe is obviously pushing for us to have Mashiach on a constant basis on our mind. So I mean, it's pretty much the only thing. Everything is connected. Everything is this is what we're doing. And I know the story of David Melech. David Melech, who was caught in the mikvah, and he was like, "Oh, I have no mitzvah." And then he realized that he has the bris. Right? I believe that's the story. But anyways, I just wanted to take out of that idea of making sure that Mashiach is, I don't know, even in the mikvah. Even in the mikvah, you got to make sure that Mashiach is constantly what we're dealing with. Okay. Another few seconds. Okay, Vibaldas the Inyanim in their Parsha Lech Lecha Mi'artzecha Gamer. Since that these concepts are in the Parsha Lech Lecha Mi'artzecha, go from your land, etc. Havzachas Kadosh Baruch Hu Eretz Yisrael and Mitzvahs Mila, the promise of Hashem on the land of Israel, and the mitzvah of Mila, of circumcision. Zayin in the Ershte Inyanim in Torah. These are the first concepts in Torah. Avodas Avram Avinu, in the service of Avram Avinu. Der erste Yid was von ihm stammt ganz Am Yisrael, the first Yid, which the entire nation of Israel stems from him. He's verstandig, is therefore understood as they given a reason taken klali von ganz Torah in Yiddishkeit. They give out the core of the entire Torah and Yiddishkeit. Levi.
All right, beautiful stuff. I want to also point out that it's interesting how, I don't know what it is. I'd love to look into it some more. But once we're speaking about Lech Lecha, there's a certain theme that the Torah has. We see that it says Noach Noach, and now we're going to Lech Lecha. It's the same. It's the same two letters being used twice in the Rebbe in previous sichos, especially that we've learned in Nun Aleph and Nun Beis. The Rebbe says that kefil. So when you double something, like we learned a sikh about nachamu, when you double something, it's a very geuladik thing. So that itself proves that we're dealing with a geuladik parsha. That the parsha itself, there's no other parsha like parsha. It is a double. It's a double word. We say lech lecha. So even though it's two different words, but it's a double of the same two letters. I think it's a beautiful thing to realize that we're dealing with a Moshiach parsha. Since Yedua, as mit Avram Avinu hat sich angeheben die Tkufa von Schnee von Teira, Avram hat angeheben die Achanat Matan Teira bis nach von ihm hat sich angeheben die Aschala von dem Yichud Matan Teira wie steht in Kisvei Harizal. It's known that with Avraham started the 2,000 years of Torah, that the world is split into 2,000 years each, and really it started. Okay, next.
Okay, Menachem, you're up.
ובמיוחד hat sich angeheben
Levi
von dem
was still in the
Zibur.
middle of the first paragraph. If you want to, he didn't finish the first paragraph. He did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, I must have missed it. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I could do it again if you want. I don't mind. Okay, whatever. ובמיוחד hat sich das angeheben von dem Zibur Hashem, sein Rabbi Vino Lecha, Yatzcha, begeben Lawrence Sherekov. Es der Feier wendet erzählt in Teira, merdet wie erzählt der Pratim, wegen Meister של אברהם אבינו עדר זה קומן לארץ ישראל. איקר סיפר מייסר auf hem sich an von dem Zibur Lecha Yatzcha, und wie es ankommen לארץ ישראל, was demot ist Abraham gewinnt, Benayin Hishara Gevur Barucha durch Exodus. Now, Bechwal, it's explained now, so the Rebbe is going to say that obviously the main story, the main point the Torah wants to tell us is the Aved Lecha V'Yachcha of the Aved Avraham Avinu going to Eretz Yisrael, which this isn't the only place. Again, I don't remember all the places, but this isn't the only. This isn't the only place. But I do remember that the Rebbe does mention a lot of times that while we find that by Urkazdim that that's the only thing we find of Avraham Avinu before his before the Torah telling the main story of that's the thing we find of his, so to speak, previous life. The main thing we find is Lecha Yatzcha, which Bechwal speaks about this Exodus, and over here the Rebbe is going to expound on it.
Wow. Okay. Yasher Koyach, thank you very much. First of all, I want to point out this is amazing. So thank you very much, Menachem, for joining. Levi, making this happen. Obviously, really, really amazing stuff. This is Mashiach times. This is this right here. Really beautiful, really amazing. I'm inspired by us. So thank you. Today, Menachem just made me think about it. One of the boys, and I was learning Chumash today with in Jets, and he was saying how Torah tends to give off it's like it gives off a feeling of that the age of the people that you're speaking about is a completely different age. And then you found out like, oh yeah, he's 100 years old. I'm like, oh, he was a few hundred years old. Like, oh, okay. It was just interesting. I was saying like, it gives off a story. Like we think we know the whole story of Avraham, and he's like, no, you missed like everything. we barely spoke about anything. So, but obviously, if this is the beginning of the story in our story in the Torah, so the Rebbe is saying that obviously more related to us. Also, first of all, that sikha was phenomenal. Remember that Nachamu, and I also wanted to share that. I know it was a joke, but there's this Chabadnik that was making a joke, like sending out videos. So So he did one on Lech Lecha, and he's calling it Lecha Lecha the whole time instead of Lech Lecha. So it's not reminded. Okay, go ahead, Levi.
Yeah, yeah. Darf man verstehen, jeder in Teirem Lashon Hira is a Hira, Nitzchis B'chol Zman B'chol Makim in the Raveh Defnei Yidin. We have to understand that every single concept in Torah is a lesson, everlasting lesson for all times, all places in the performance of a Yid. Was ist der Hira, Avodah for Yidin nach Matan Torah von Lech Lecha Me'ad Chagoymer. So what is the lesson in the service of a Yid after Matan Torah? From Lech Lecha Me'ad Chagoymer? What do we learn from this? An Einmal, the Kapasirin was given Achonat Matan Torah. It was a one-time occurrence. It happened as a preparation to Matan Torah. L'chura is my Dahava. Seemingly, often the Gemara asks, what happened? What do we care about what happened? It says, Nit genug der Enfer, das ist bechdem is all wissen, as Avodas Avram, von Lech Lecha is Hachonah, und es Kech, so Avodah nach Matan Torah. It's not enough if I answer to you that it's the reason why we're learning it is because you have to know that the service of Avram, of Lech Lecha, prepared us and gave us koyach for the avodah of after Matan Torah. Because this is not an actual lesson. Like, what does this tell me I got to do today after Matan Torah? What is this? What am I supposed to do with this? So we're dealing with the Rebbe is out to find a hira b'payil. What in the world does Lech Lecha Me'artzecha have anything to do with me today in Tov Shinayin Tes, coming out of Tishrei, going into the year?
Menachem, please go ahead.
Noch mehr. Jeden Jahr zijn beleid a Parshas Torah darf met de mit leben bechodesh. Because der Food was bechol yom benecho chadoshim. Achsam gaba des Rabbi Yuchad Mashora we beleid die ganze Parshas Torah. We beraben mit, wie zei de brochers van nou achreel. Waarom damals gaat het zich über die Jahre was letztlich in der Parshas bedruckbar, wie sie haben passiert. Dem ersten Mal. Rather aber noch mit der Hisofa. Yesterday, op je kwal is beter bakedish. And Bechwal, I don't need to even explain. We all know this is one of the Rebbe's major cuts, that the Yonam of the Torah has an Iber all the time. And not only that, they're stronger than the year before, the Rebbe just said. And when, the Rebbe doesn't say that here, but a lot of places, when we read it in Torah, that's what's actually happening. So the Yonam has Iber every year, what? The Kayach HaTorah. The Kayach that we're reading in the Torah, that's what's making these Yodim Chazer Iber every single year. And of course, they don't Chazer Iber every single year at the same level. But as the Rebbe just said, they go even higher. Next.
Well, thank you, Menachem. I actually have a question. Which one of the guys. So I know we discussed recently a little while ago. We discussed. I started I tried to. I'm still in the middle of starting. I have one of my classes. I changed it to a Yanagol Moshiach shir. So mainly discussing it and bringing up certain ideas. I'm still looking for something very good that's in English, good material. Right now I'm using something that's a little rough to go. Thank you for the encouragement, Levi. So I'm still looking for something good that's in English that I can use with these guys. But basically, one of the things that one of the guys brought up is the idea that in the 6,000th year, so we still got some time, till then. And I know we just recently learned from the Rebbe that the Rebbe was saying that in the Gemara already says that we already passed all the kids. And so I don't know how those two match up. I'm illiterate in these things. So if anybody wants to enlighten me in those stuff, I'll definitely appreciate it. Let me just read a small paragraph, go a little further. Pisa kommt euch, Shabbos Parshas Lech Lecha, b'chol shana v'shana chazert sich iber der Inen von Lech Lecha Gemer, hazachana v'azchala von Matan Torah, und mit ha'yisafa in dem achana legabi kol ha'yisafa v'shanam shalif nezeh. So basically, every year we redo this thing with something added. Levi.
So you're holding by Darfman Haben a beer? Also, I don't see you, so. tell me, I don't know where I'm holding. Yeah, darf man halt man abir, was der Indien in dem die Achon of Matentere ist der. Wenn steht schon noch Matentere, nicht nur noch der Achon was Achon of Matentere, nur noch der Gemaru Schleimus Matentere. So we gotta understand what does this mean to prepare for Matan Torah in today's day and age? We already had Matan Torah. Not just that we are not preparing for and starting Matan Torah, but we're actually holding at the completion of Matan Torah. So what's going on here? Well, how do we learn something from this whole Lech Lecha business at today's day and age? And we know also that the Rebbe is obviously talking about where we're holding in the world, where the in this era of Nun Aleph Nun Beis, the Rebbe keeps telling us that we finished our Avodah and it's time for Mashiach. So if we're finished the Matan Torah Avodah, so what's now?
Menachem.
Nachmer. Der Indian von Matan Torah is da bechol yom v'yom. Neisach HaTorah Loshev Heva. Gemar Mazah bechol yom v'yom v'lecha kachadoshim. Nachmer chadoshim. V'alpitzi v'yanal. Vermeire Baketes is moving bechol yom dat de chitisch zijn bedagen na v'seser. Is het gewend vrije. Also actually the Elias in the Indian von Matan Torah bechol yom v'yom but the true oich ba'ifin miyuchot. Bechol Shana v'Shana v'Melein wegen dem Torah v'Parshas Yisrael v'Parshas Mascharon. Achscham v'Kama in Matan Torah in the Matan Torah Seino. Alias achar Alias Meshcha Ribe Echi Godel v'Yom v'Shana v'Denis. Was der Inge von Lecha als achardas to Matan Torah, as was just said before. Also, so many generations and we're holding right before Mashiach. What's the Indian of Lecha als achardas to Matan Torah? What does that mean today practically? I just want to add that similar. I don't know if the Rebbe I don't remember if the Rebbe is going to say that later or not. But similar in Pinchas, the Machta Eretz Yisrael. Never mentions there. Obviously, L'chol Ereish, the Indian is Machta Eretz Yisrael simply to have Eretz Yisrael with Mashiach. And L'chayra, the same thing over here. Lecha Me'artzcha. That the main thing would be L'chayra, if I could say the same idea as Pinchas. The main thing would be L'chayra that Mashiach has to come. Lecha Me'artzcha. We have to go to Eretz Yisrael. But at least until we see his gallows, this is what we have at least until then, what to do. And what was mentioned here before, I know only a minute and a half, but if you want, after the end of the Sikha, yes, there is a major difference in Aleph the days versus earlier of the appointed times of Mashiach to come have passed. And what are they? That's a separate. We could get to that maybe later. Next.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Rabbi Yisrael, you would be after Menachem in this round over here. So I know you just walked in, but if you want, you can take a spot now.
Oh, hello, you hear me?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, wonderful, good. So I, sorry for the technical difficulties, but, and I'm not even sure where we're holding in Sichas Shabbos Parshas Lech Lecha, but I'll just share for the remainder of this time slot here, is that Reb Leivik, your little k'toim, the Mashiach tidbits and the thoughts on the Parsha, very, very tzumzach, the Parshas Neach, very inspiring, Parshas Lech Lecha, it's beautiful, beautiful little vertelach, shkoyach.
Oh, baby. Okay. Very, very exciting. I just want to understand and correct me. Maybe give me a thumbs up if I got this correct. The connection between what we're talking about in our parsha and Matan Torah is the fact that we make a bracha on it, right? As we go on, every single time we're making a bracha noisena Torah. Okay, so that's the connection. Okay, just want to make sure I didn't miss something. And also some bikes words. Oh wow, shee. Moshe with welcome. Shalom Aleichem.
Yeah,
Could I put you on mute until it's your turn? We're going around. Okay, sure. But you're gonna have to unmute yourself though, because I can't do that for you. You're gonna have to do yourself. So going on what Levi mentioned before about when it's a double word, the Rebbe says how it means not just doubled once, but is doubled and redoubled and continually redoubling itself. And the idea of Lech Lecha we know means to go to yourself, to your true self. So just saying the idea of the truth self, which is Yechida, which we know is spark of Mashiach. So it makes sense to me. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying, but I know what I'm saying. It makes sense to me, Lech Lecha, to the ultimate point, which means Mashiach. Okay, Levi, go ahead.
Wir kennen nicht sagen, als die Avoide von Lech Lecha als Achonot Matan Torah is nur für Azavas bei ihm fällt in seine Avoide verbunden mit Matan Torah. We can't say that the Avoide of Lech Lecha to prepare for Matan Torah, it applies to someone who's missing from his Avoide that's connected with Matan Torah. Warum der Gilui Apollo von der Seres Adibris Matan Torah mit Hamar Rishayno oder so mit dem Chalshan is nicht given totally in the Agas Avoide von Yidden. That's because it has nothing to do with where a certain person or Yid is holding. It had nothing to do with our Avodah. When we came to Matan Torah, the Gilui Matan Torah had Tzadatzme Gepayot B'chol Eilam Kulei Tzipor Leitzava Achayif Leipara Achulu. Matan Torah itself did what it had to do. To the extent it affected the whole world that way. Birds didn't chirp. Birds didn't fly. We see that by every single one of the 10 commandments, the Yidden has left their body. So you see that no one is lacking anything from Matan Torah. It completely did its job, and it can't be that we're dealing with that the Avodah of Lech Lecha is for someone that's missing something from Matan Torah. No such thing. And by the way, this also applies for Bechlal, for Golus. No one is out of the picture.
Wow. Levi, it looks like you're leaning towards we should do 2 minutes. Sit. Menachem, you're up whenever you're ready.
Here. Yeshleimar says it ever. Yeshleimar the Kudas Abir in them. Asiani Senes. Yibal is Matan Torah is done b'chol yom b'chol shana b'efer naila yiseh. Bis Kadosh Mamish Lagabi dem Matan Torah Shuvis Nizeh. Wie sie ist untergeschlagen, die Bücher der Bücher von Lecha, der Chodesh Matan Torah, es ist darf sein, Aricha Amitis. Heire Shaloi Be'erich Matzav Yakedem, as we know, the Rebbe has a very high expectation from us. The Rebbe darf b'yem zeh b'shana zu sein an Aveda von Lecha als Achonim Hakdama Matan Torah for yem zeh b'shana zu. It has to be even higher this year than there was before. And just to quickly mention before that I'm not going to go into the whole because there's 2-minute countdown. But I do want to say that the Gemara already said that the kitchen were finished. Of course, that was already mentioned in the Gemara. And for a certain time, if Hayevim B'Keres Shmo, the Rebbe speaks about it a lot of times. Zachu, if Mashiach could have came then already, correct. There was a certain stage that we finished the Aveda. But Chavkas Nissen, the Rebbe said that when we say this phrase of Kolaka Kitzin, Chavkas Nissen, Tavshin and Aleph, the Rebbe's Lashon, Im Siyuma Shachodesh Nissen, Tavshin and Aleph, is when we simply finished it, Pshuta Imamish. So whatever it meant before, we could talk about a whole night, which I'm not going to. But now, Kipshutei Mamish, because we finished, the evidence to say this there, but other places, because we finished all the Aveda, etc., etc. So now it means literally that Mashiach has to come now. And if I may, one more thing, I don't want to jump ahead to the next paragraph, but I don't want to interrupt the next guy. So while we're at it, if someone could answer me after the next paragraph, why it says Razei Weiter, because we know that the two Dibras, the Parshas Nishmasan was only by the first two Aseret Dibras. And later, next paragraph, from my recollection, the Rebbe is going to say as if it applied by every single dibur. If anybody, when we read the next paragraph, whoever reads it, if anybody could please fill me in. I had that question for a little while. Thank you. Next.
Wow. Thank you, Menachem. Reb Moshe Witkes, you are up. You can. You got a minute and a half. You can do with it as you please. If you want to read further, you can. You got to take yourself off mute, as we discussed.
Here it is. Actually, I actually don't have the text in front of me, so I can pass, and if I have something to say, I'll raise my hand.
We shared the PDF.
But we sent the PDF. The PDF is on the group.
I know, but if I'm on my phone now, so if I open it, then I'll have to check out this. Let's try. You still hear me?
Yeah, you could do both. I do both. I have both. I have both open.
Okay, where are we up to?
Right before it's Dalit.
By the time I open it, I'm going to be...
Page 72.
Okay, here it is.
Okay, we're masters of time. We can restart it.
Okay, this is Oich Mudgash. Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Oich Mudgash in the Maimer Chazal Hanal. Als kol dibur v'dibur parchan ishmasan. Liachri kol dibur heidid tal shosid lachi es b'mesim v'hechi esam. So after every dibur, the neshama was peireach, and after every dibur, the Eibishter brought tal shosid lachi es. What's this tal? V'hu tal teira. Lachi der parchan ishmasan b'dibur rishain. Zlub dem was man hat der Gerecht zu Schlemes Aveda als Neshama Buf Kanal ist durch Tal Shatchia Teira zugegeben geworden zu der Neshama Naye Hechere Schliches und der Riber Hechia Eisam als Neshama Beguf. Weil der se nach dem Dibur Sheni. So in every Dibur that the Neshama left, if the Neshama left is a Raya that they were Mekayim their Shliches, that they were Memale, the whole reason why the Neshama was in the Guf. The Mele, the Neshama leaves, because what else is going to do? So what happened? The Eibishter is Mechayet with Tal Shel Torah, which is an Indian of giving it another Shlichus. So Mele has another life until it finishes that job, and then Unazei Vaiter. Darge, Lamaila Medarge. Ulhesef, as der Chaziran is Dafka durch Tal Shel Tchia, She'oselach is Bemesim, die Darge von Torah Chadosha, Liaslavit Hilkamon. So Lahesef, that what is it? What's this Tal? Tchia, it's She'oselach is Mesim, it's the Darge of Torah Chadosha of Liaslavai. So, seems as though this Torah Chadasha gives us a whole new meaning. It gives us a whole new shlichus to everything we thought Avodas Hashem was, changes when we have shaychus with the Torah Chadasha, and b'meile it turns into Chaim Nitzchiyim. Okay, so now I'm going back to Hangouts to, I guess you could pass it on, right? Next.
Yes, thank you, Moshe.
Yeah.
I'm taking initiative and changing it to 2 minutes. So, Yisrael, go ahead.
Yeah, and Menachem, I wonder if this is actually a bissel potential answer to your question about Kol Dibur Dibur. Usually we know that it was only the first 2 Diburim, but maybe the whole cycle of Parchan Ishmasam and they had to be revived, maybe that taka only happened through that entire cycle by the first and second Dibur. But the idea of going deeper and deeper into a revelation of a new shlichus for us to do, the giving over of another level deeper of what we have to do about this Torah to bring the world to more completion, etc., that was continuously given another level through all the Dibres, not just the first 2. And that's what the Rebbe means in Azei Vaiter, that there's more levels, that the Eibusha keeps giving us more dargos of this Tal Shel Tchia. So Mistama, you could be Meirich more on this Ha'ora, Kaviyachal, why Davka, the first 2 had to go through the Parchan Ishmasam thing, and then afterwards didn't have to. And what does it have to do with the Teichen of Anoichi Avelkecha and Leisiyah? versus the rest of the Dibros Mistama. There's what to kach over there, but maybe generally that could be that's the pshat of the Undazoi Weiter. And it's geschmack to see diuk even in just a little abbreviation word that the Rebbe said, Unazei Weiter. You can build on that towers and towers of limudim of what it means and what the Rebbe meant by that. That's definitely very geschmack to see. Yeshlima Beimik Yeser, as das was allemaal eichel achre Matan Teira darf sein die Arbeiter von Lech Lecha als Achonotz Matan Teira, is nicht nur weil man darf haben Achonotz wa hechere Darga in Matan Teira Kanal, nur weil Lech Lecha is negiert zu dem Etzem Ingen von Schlimus Matan Teira und in jeder Darga shebazeh. So it's not only that we need to have a preparation to go a higher level in Matan Teira, but it's actually negiert to Matan Teira itself.
Wow. I'm gonna have to make my kalim bigger for all the amazing stuff being shared here. So thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so I don't know if I fully get everything that we read meanwhile, but I think I got some of it. And just the thought when I was thinking about what did Hashem do when everybody Pirch Nishmasam by the first dibur? Like how did Hashem convince? This is what I'm thinking, right? How did Hashem convince all the neshamas to get back into a body? It's like, oh no, I'm not going back there. That makes no sense. We're going up, and so give another shlichus, as we just said. And I'm thinking, what does another shlichus mean? I'm trying to understand. Like that means that he gave him another secret, meaning something of Torah of tal of Tchias Amesim, of basically some ingredients of Mashiach. He taught the neshamas a little bit of chassidus, and he said, look, in the body is where you can get the stuff. You can't get it somewhere else. Okay, so they have another shlichus. They come back down to the body. And then they get expired again. Oh, it's too exciting. So they get out again. And every time that's what they do. I don't know if his answers were Menachem saying. I love Menachem's question, by the way. I really do love it. But I'm just thinking of that concept of getting, like, I understand that when Mashiach comes, we're going to be, I don't know the exact wording and how exactly it works, but basically that the neshama is going to be like getting energy from the guf, right? Something like that. I'm sure someone will correct me on that one, but it's something similar to that. And I'm just thinking that this idea, that Hashem finally says, oh, by the way, neshama, you don't want to go into the body. It's in the body. That's where it is. The body's got it all. You have it. Everything's there. It's like all the good stuff. So it's right there in the body. Okay. Mashiach. Levi.
Okay, so all this talk about what happened over there it got me Googling on the side while I'm listening. We're holding the Imaisa Mashiach, so you can do a lot of things at once and you can be everywhere. And I actually, if anyone sees, there's a group chat that Hangouts has, and I posted two sources that the Rebbe brings in the Maramakim down underneath in the Sikha, one from Shabbos Peichesim at Beis, and over there it shows clearly in Shabbos he says, Amr B'Shua ben Levi, Kol Dibur v'Dibur sheyatzah min Piyah HaKadosh Baruch Hu yatzah Nusan Nishmas Shal Yisrael, not just the first two Diburim. In Shmois Rabbah he says, Kivan Shabo l'Sinai v'Nigla lehem Parcha Nishmasam Al Shadibur Imohem. And then Isaac brought down the next Maramakim that is brought down in the Sikha. You want to know how they into the body. So I didn't finish reading, but in Shirashirim Rabbah he actually goes into the whole story about what was going on. The Abisha started speaking to them like, what's going on here? Like, why are you guys dying? Anyway, it's cool stuff, and it's definitely worth it to check it out, I imagine, especially because learning Medrash Rabbah, I think, not to say Lashon Hara in any sort of way, but it might be a lost art that the Rabbeim, they all learned the Medrash, obviously, and they encouraged, a chassid should know also what it says in Medrash Rabbah. It's all over Chassidus, it's all over the Rebbe's Torah, and it's available today. It's so simple. It's the click of a button. I'm sure there's ways of finding translations as well. But anyways, really beautiful stuff. And thank you to the Chevra for making me interested in looking at the Matan Mekaymis. And now I have a new Matan Torah here.
Menachem. Reb Menachem.
Yeah, I didn't know I was a rep, but okay. Anyway, I'm going to go further, but I do want to first comment. Thank you, by the way, Yisrael, and the last one also. Thank you for those Yodim. Gave me what to think about. And I do want to mention, yes, Rashi does bring down that there was a time David should send them all at once, and then there was a time that David should send them separately. But I was thinking it could be my own Beichsmara, that because the Rebbe does, after all, say that the Abishter had to be Mechayah them with this special towel of Techiyah, the Abishter had to be Mechayah them after a Kol Tima Redeemer. What does that mean if the Neshama didn't leave their body? So this is my own Beichsmara. I just thought up. The Kayach Hatzibor that's having the Shir Yadagol Mashiach. Tell me what they think about it. Anochi and Lecha is just the general Torah mitzvahs. We know Anochi is connected to mitzvahs say, Lecha is connected to mitzvahs Lecha say. So when it comes to that, the general Indian, when you have such a gilei of the kus before it comes down to Gashmias, in other words, a roughly without a shuv. So Yittin had a roughly then the neshama left their body, didn't come back. But Yeshleimar, once Elikus started coming down into Pratim, once there started being tzivuyim in mitzvahs, that you cannot do this, like signaif, like this, like that, what etc. Once it started coming down into Gashmis Kipshutai, then there was able to be a shuv that the neshama was able to come back, and they were able to have this they were able to have this tal on their own without coming on, so to speak, to Hashem to have a Ratzli, then die and come back to Shuv. Rather, they had this Ratzli and Shuv together because it was already involved in a mitzvah prati. That's my Beichsmar I just thought of.
Thank you.
I don't know. It could be Oiskehalt, it could be not. I just thought of that as these ideas were being flown around.
Perfect. Thank you, Menachem.
Okay, we're holding where? We're holding by where?
No, it's good. Let Moshe speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll continue.
I'm going to start again from Dalit, if that's all right. I think we paused right in the middle there. Is that right? The Yishlemer B'Emekei says, Das ist allemo ich lacher matan Teir, der sein der Wort von Lech Lecha. Als Achone zu matan Teir, ist nicht nur, weil man darf haben Achone zu Hecher Darge matan Teir Kanal, nur weil Lech Lecha ist negeit zu dem Etzem Inin von Schleimes matan Teir. So Yishlemer, that Lech Lecha is not only a Achone to the next level of Torah, but Lech Lecha itself is a part of Torah. So Lech Lecha itself, in other words, we already mekabel the Torah today, or whatever, this parsha. And what's the parsha? Lech Lecha. So what's Lech Lecha be'etzem trying to say? Okay, is that good?
Yes. Would you like to share any of your own words?
I'm interested to know the answer now. The Sicha. Nothing to say, gentlemen. If I have something to add, I will. How's that?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yashakar. Yisrael, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting when it's my turn. Okay, beseder. So, wird man es verstehen, behagt ihm an ähnliche Scheile, bin ich gehe zu Hamsupar, bei Parshas wegen Halichas und Knisas Avram l'Eretz Yisrael, Oretz Asher Areka. Und die Havtacha und es Sina von Eretz Yisrael von dem Eibishten zu Avram und Sarai. Okay, so we'll understand this by first addressing a similar question to something else in the Parsha. It says that Avraham Avinu, regarding him going to the land that the Eibishter is showing him, and the idea that the Eibishter promised and said he'll give it to him, that the Eibishter was giving it to him and to his offspring. And from there, I guess we'll understand how it addresses this thing about, like you said, I liked how you explained it, Reb Moshe. It wasn't clear to me when I first ran through it quickly. But I guess it might have to do also because I missed some of the earlier parts of the Sikh. I have to catch up on it between us. But you probably discussed something about how Lech Lecha has an important relationship to Matan Torah and that it's some sort of preparation to Matan Torah. But now in Ois Daled, we're going to go a little deeper, not just how it's just a preparation for Matan Torah, but how Lech Lecha itself is itself the idea of Matan Torah somehow. And that's what we're going to discover. Also, similar to the after we address this thing about the Eibush just showing Avram Avinu the land and giving it to Avram Avinu, giving it to his offspring, as we'll see right beneath us. Vibald. Let me just read a line or two. Vibald as der inem Parshas von Alichas uknisas Avram leEretz Yisrael und nesinas Eretz Yisrael loyal zari chazert sich hiber über Yisuf bechol shona v'meleinti Parsha. Stellt sich die Shela. We're going to address the fact that it repeats itself. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, everybody. Everybody, this is amazing. I'm being infused with just total, actual awesomeness here. So, what I wanted to share is, first of all, maybe an attempt to Menachem's question. I don't know if it's actually going to answer you, but I'm going to try. Just an idea of Unazoi Weiter over there, it seems that the Rebbe is actually emphasizing an idea that each one is a new shlichus, right? That means a new shlichus with a new chayas, with a new, basically, I guess, reason to be in the body or purpose to be in the body, which is what I understood, which is also the theme so far, which seems to be the whole idea of Lech Lecha, which we were also saying before, Rabbi Yisrael, just to try to fill you in, and I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm getting it wrong, is that the connection is that we say, obviously, Nois in the Torah. It's a constant thing that we're getting the Torah. And if we're doing the Parsha again, it's not that we're just doing it again, but that we're getting it right now, or we're getting it, redoing it again. And but it can't just be, again, the same as last time. It's got to be, obviously, more, as the Rebbe said. It's got to be stronger than before, higher level than before, deeper than before, whatever it is. It's got to be always more. But then we said, especially by Lech Lecha, it's got to be that case, because Lech Lecha is actually the first thing dealing with Avram Avinu, who was the first Yid. The entire Klal Yisrael comes from Avram Avinu, and we spent the last couple of paragraphs establishing why and how it's so important, and showing how this really affects every single person, and from new every year, and all the elaboration that the Rebbe knows how to do so amazingly. I didn't chap that whole thing that Levi that you said, but it seemed exciting, and I wanted to hear what you said, if you don't mind repeating it. Okay, Levi, go ahead.
I was talking about the Medrash speaking about what happened by Matan Torah, that Parchim Nishmasim. Is that what you wanted to know, Isaac? So yeah, so basically it's a very exciting Medrash. I didn't really get a proper look at it, but I'm saying that it's definitely something we should look at. Shir HaShirim, Parsha Shir HaShirim Rabbah, Parsha Hey, Istez Zayin, in the third paragraph. And it's like, man, I'm telling you, just by giving a quick look at it on Google, I got chills. It's like saying what happened, that the Yidden died. So like they came to the Eibishter saying like, what's going on? Like the Torah was like screaming, like, I don't understand. Everyone's happy about me, and then and these people just died on me. So Medrash compares it a little bit to like a mashal of a king, that he's talking to his son, and his son, because he's so terrified of the king, he just dies. Like he passes out. No, he didn't die. He passes out. So the king right away, like starts hugging the kid and kissing the kid and saying, "Hello, aren't you my ben yichidi? Aren't you my only son? Aren't I not your father?" And he like starts talking to the kid like, and the Medrash says that's what the Eibusha was saying by Anoichi Hashem Lekecha, like I'm your father. You're my nation. You're my kids. Like, and it says the Malachim came and they started kissing and hugging the Yidden and bringing them back to life. And also that's what the pasuk says: Teres Hashem Tamima Meshivas Nafesh. The Torah actually brought back the nefesh. It brought the Yidden back to life. So it's just a really cool medrash. Everyone should check out.
Thank you very much. Menachem, you're up.
Yeah, it just takes time to unmute this thing every time. We're holding La'achre, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. La'achre ze was der Eberster Parshas hat sich abgegeben Peil. Strauß sieht man sein Ach und Sati ist auch nicht so ist. Sati was schon aber Kvar Sati. Vaharehi Shalahem. Yerushahi Lachem Havisegel. Bizas das is the Gael Halacha that Yisrael Bechzekasi. Noch Eder Yitnab in Ear Kavish Gevan. I mean, the Rebbe doesn't say this here. Oh, the Rebbe does say it in a second, sorry. Pia Mefarshi was durch da, was Avram hat Bekayim Gevan. The Komisalig Baor, and Vorko Rachbo. Obed Bachiskosa, with the Kaini Gevan, Yisrael was out of through that. The Rebbe actually says it here, that through that he went through the land of Yisrael, went through the whole length and width of it. So he was able to acquire it as a Kinyan Amputata, to acquire it for the Yidden. Whether that means the Yidden of Maisa Gashmi, of the Yidden of physically doing an action to acquire Eretz Yisrael that Avraham Avinu did. And this is this Parsha, what he actually did, to physically acquire it through a physical action. Next.
Wow, thank you. Moshe, you're already off mute, so just go ahead.
That's right. Does that mean that you could hear me breathing until now?
It's a sign you're alive.
No, really. I'll do mute. I've been skipping that.
It's good. You're good. Go ahead.
I've been holding my breath also. Okay. So basically, our shaila here generally is, why are we learning Lech Lecha? Let the Torah just start from a Chodesh Hazeh Lechem, so to say. Why are we learning Lech Lecha? It already happened. So our Avram already did it. Not only Avram did it, but the Yidden, the whole Klal Yisrael did it by Kivush Yeshua, und noch Kivush Sheni, Kivush Ezra. So we did this already, clearly, and twice. So what's the Negeya, the Hayra V'lechacha? Was it's der Shaykh lepel der Sipon unser Parsha wegen dem, als Avram ist weg me'arzecha und gegangen in Eretz Asher Reka und der Eberst hat ihm abgegeben Eretz Yisrael. What's the Negeya? That Hashem says to Avram to leave your land and go to a place which I would show you, and that Hashem's giving us the land. We know it and we conquered it. We did it. So obviously there's Hayra, but it can't be bepashtus because that happened. Das sein und was haben passiert demot und Chazen sich mehr nicht hier, but we're not going back. I'm gonna go on to hey, if that's okay. Die Kasha wird noch stärker bei der Sachen von Galus. The question is even more. But there is a Yisraelim from Galus now at the end of Galus. But there is a Yisraelim from Galus. Wat mir gekannte Entfernas der Ihnen von Lech zu gehen, als Shereka is negate the Alveda Ruchnis von Macht der Yisrael. You could have answered, maybe everyone thought that this is going to be the ultimate answer. You could have answered that, yeah, for sure. You know what the Pimius Taich of Lechem Eretzecha is nowadays to us. It means that we should leave. We're now, wherever we are in the world, wherever we are, and we think of it as a place of Galus, and we should leave that mentality and recognize that really, Betzim Eretz Yisrael, Machta Eretz Yisrael, and that would be the inyan of Lech Lecha now.
I'm sure you'll forgive me if I pause you for a little bit. For one
Absolutely.
round.
I don't know the rules. I just jumped in the middle.
Okay,
I'm just trying to cover the sikha a little bit.
Okay, so let Yisrael go. Let Yisrael go.
Please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good. So so apparently this is what we could have said maybe is the idea of how Lech Lecha applies right now. But we can't say that, says the Rebbe, because of course the Rebbe's eyes is always directly on the Geula and where we stand in regards to that, and the fact that we already did that. Fun und in macht Eretz Yisrael. So much avodah macht Eretz Yisrael that we've already done. And the Rebbe, from his point of view, he can see where we're holding in that, and he's telling us, guess what, guys, we're standing after a whole bunch of avodah of that. Isagamo hat noch nicht geendigt den ganzen die Avodah. Weil Raya Moshiach ist noch nicht gekommen, halt man aber asach, gar asach weiter. Von as cholas Avodah, von Kibush Chutzlaretz und machen davon Eretz Yisrael. We've already done so much of, like you explained so eloquently, Reb Moshe, about realizing in any particular place and revealing how that is also Eretz Yisrael. And we've done so much of that. Valachas kam as mahalt shen gar weit von as cholas einen. Als man darf rausgehen von Arzecha und erst anheben gehen in, das heißt, dann die Aveda von Machda Eretz Yisrael. So now the question is even so much stronger that we've already Lech Lecha so much in each and every one of these places. Erst anheben gehen in, das heißt, dann die Aveda von Machda Eretz Yisrael. Oh, we're holding so much farther already from the beginning of when we have to get out of our own Artzecha and start doing the idea of going to Eretz Yisrael, which, as Moshe explains, is revealing how here doing the Avodah of Machta Eretz Yisrael. So after doing so much of that Avodah, the Rebbe is hinting that, that idea is already also in the past. So how is it Negeah now? What is the lesson of Lech Lecha right now pertinent in terms of Matan Torah? What's the lesson for now?
Okay, so thank you very much, honestly. And I hope you'll forgive me, Rav Moshe, for chiming in over there. Sam, we just tried to stick it to the timer, 2 minutes, so that way we get infused by everybody's Mashiach-ness. I'm just forgive my ignorance over here. Machda Eretz Yisrael, from what I understand, it just means do Torah mitzvahs. Make yourself holy. Make wherever you are holy. Make you, your body, your own self, your own experience, your own life holy. So my question is that the Rebbe said for many years already, whatever, they already tried everything. They tried everything to bring Mashiach. They tried doing tshuva, and they tried doing I don't remember all the stuff that the Rebbe says, whatever. But they tried. They were way better than us. They were way smarter than us. They know how to learn better than us. They were more from than us. So I don't. So the Rebbe says basically, so what didn't they try? It's like a problem that they didn't try it. What the Rebbe says, they're doing it b'simcha. So it seems to me that the idea of Machda Eretz Yisrael, unless that's what we're talking about, is also something that's been done already. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly does it mean that we're even asking a question on it. So I don't even understand what it means, lechatchila. What does it mean, Machda Eretz Yisrael? In regards to like practically bringing Mashiach or practically doing it, like, because that's what we're already speaking about. I know in Israel there's something called like Iron Man or something like that. Like they mamish like travel the whole Israel. They swim across the biggest thing and they run across the Israel. Maybe we should do it. In myself, I'm saying, Levi, go.
Good stuff.
If I may try to answer your question, what you just asked.
Yeah, but let Levi try. Let Levi try first.
Oh, sure. Okay.
If you don't mind. Okay, Shkai.
Well, if I was going to go into what you're asking, I think really when you were speaking, Isaac, it begs the question, because in general, we find that the Rebbe seems on the one hand always to be saying that we've done everything, there's nothing else that could be holding us back in Galus. But then again, the Rebbe always says, but if we're here, then we have to figure out what we could do and what is there. But the question is, why even go to that question? Why go to that question? What else is there to do if we already established we've done everything? So then if we've done everything, then what are you looking for? How are you ever supposed to find something that we need to still do? And thinking about this actually makes me wonder if maybe we're touching on, maybe this is the Rebbe actually teaching us how it works when Mashiach comes. Maybe the Rebbe is actually educating us on how life and Yiddishkeit works when Mashiach is actually here. Meaning, when Mashiach comes, the big day, right, and everything happens. We said Mikdash is here, and we've done our job, right? Like we did our job of Golus. So now, what do you do? What do you do now? And I think that's the mentality we need to get used to. Meaning, yeah, we've done everything, but we got to do more, and it's going to keep going.
Okay, Menachem, sorry for cutting you off there. Go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
Okay, so here's what in general, we find, as he just mentioned, by the way, I like his answer very well. Thank you, Yeshakaya, for the last answer. But along those lines, but similar, is I wanted to say is that Michal and off the base, we find through the Kodesh, as he mentioned, that we already did everything, but the temperatures are pushing more. So there's 2 things here. That the Aveda of bringing Mashiach, to bring Mashiach, that we did already. There's nothing holding back Mashiach. Even here, Matzat Machta Eretz Yisrael, Matzat Aveda Sabarurim, you name it, we did that already. We finished that already. The Rebbe has to be this gala, no question about it. Now, until we actually see the Rebbe again, either it's like preparing the last few things before the king shows up. Although the room is already, this is my own muscle, excuse me, there is bedside inspection in camp. The counselor says you're ready. But the last few seconds before the counselor comes, you're like cleaning up the last few remnants. Of course, the world is ready, v'chulu v'chulu. But until we see the Rebbe again, there's these last few things, although they are not le'ikuva. But at the same time, we have to demand from Hashem, as the Rebbe says, when they get polishing the buttons, you polish them too much, it starts to look a little bit, not too good. So I'm saying, Taka, we're doing more and more to see the Rebbe, but we're doing too much in Gullus. It already doesn't seem too much, we Taka in Mashiach. Next. And that was just where I wanted to perhaps give some clarity on that. Next.
Amazing. Thank you. Moshe, you have any closing remarks you would like to say?
I think your question was the Rebbe's question here in the Sikha. If I understood your question, you're asking, we did already Machta Eretz Yisrael, so what's Negeh here? I think that's what the Rebbe's saying. We've already done it, so definitely that's not the answer. So then the question is, what is Lecha? And like Levi was saying, that the Rebbe is teaching us not how to end Galus, but maybe you can say more to live in Geula. So we'll see, hopefully, I guess we're ending now, but we'll see hopefully in the Rebbe's answer. The Rebbe's taka, there's a sikha, I think it's Parshas Boi Tavshin Beis, towards the beginning. I only saw it years ago, but I remember the Rebbe asking Shilas there, and then the Rebbe asked, more clear than in any other sikha that I ever saw, and how is this going to be learned to Lasi Lavai? So that's what we're seeing right here. The Rebbe's shoyl, even the most geuladik answer, which would have been Machta Yisrael, the Rebbe said it's not that. So whatever is going to come next is going to be what Levi's saying, that it's going to actually be Teirah Chadasha. So I guess if we're pausing here, we'll each go on further in the Sikha when we can. I'll say Yeshua Koyach. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, it wouldn't be fair to not give Yisrael a chance to finish off. So Yisrael, you want to say something?
Yeah, real quick, I just Levi, I think your pshat is beautiful. It's mamash. It answers another shverikite. It's almost like, in a sense, it sounds a little bit like a self-defeating question. On the one hand, the Rebbe is asking a question, but at the same time, it seems like the Rebbe is saying something contrary to the question that answers the question. Given that Mashiach didn't come, so it looks like there's still some more Aveda of Eretz Yisrael to do. So that's what the Lech Lecha might be now, right? So that answers the question. So there is what's still to do. So what is the Rebbe bringing this as a question? No, but the answer is that it still is a question. Why? Because we're now no longer in the stage in Golos where there's still what to do, and therefore we're looking for what is, so what's the next thing of Machta Eretz Yisrael that we have to do? No, the Rebbe is teaching us, this is the mindset. I'm not bringing to your attention something that there's still left to do. I'm asking you something that in the mindset of Golos, it doesn't make sense anymore. There is no more Avodah to do in terms of Lech Lecha. So why am I asking you this? Because guys, think in terms of Geula here. This is the mindset of how we're supposed to think when Mashiach is here. When Mashiach is here, right? Then what is life about? We look for what else we do. How do we serve the Eibishter now? What is the Lech Lecha Avodah going to be when Mashiach comes? That's what the question is here. What is the Avodah of Lech Lecha like in the times of Mashiach? So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's really amazing. Shkoyach Levi, and let's machashturim, and let's delve deeper into the Rebbe's Sikha over here and discover what Lech Lecha is like when Mashiach is here, since Mashiach is here. Chaim L'chaim Mashiach now.
Wow. Thank you very much, everybody. Really, I would pay you if I had money. I should pay you.